And hello and welcome back to another edition Behind the Lens with yours truly. It's game day. Yep, last night college football kicked off, kids. Go Big E! Beat up on old Morehead State. Got to listen to one of the best announcers in the game as he starts his 40th season as the Colonel Football Club announcer, Greg Stoldemeyer. Tom Krager, y'all. He's down at the Tennessean. Tom Krager. We represent the D&J here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, as it is Labor Day weekend 2018. We're in week 3, game 3 of the regular season. So tonight, we're a quarter of the way through, kids, at halftime. Police reaching out to landlords to prevent crime. Friday night highlights. Chuck Krager at the Tennessean, but we support Cecil Joyce. He is our editor. MTSU opens with Vandy. MTSU gets more than $3 million for SEC games. You sure don't spend it on the coverage at the university. Murfreesboro Area High School Football Week 3 preview. Week 3 preview with Cecil Joyce. Let's run down them, kids. CPA 2-0 over at Smyrna. 2-0. Smyrna and Blackman play next week. The Blaze got to go down there. That'll be a good one, kids. Let's see, find the rest of it. He's got it all jacked up, y'all. Riverdale 0-2 at Siegel. 0-2 over at Nolan Field. Blackman down to Coffee County, down over to Manchester, Tennessee. Stewart's Creek at Overton, so they'll go over. You know who graduated from Overton, kids? Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts. Cane Ridge at Laverne. Ooh, there'll be a little speed on the field over there. MTCS at Kings Academy. Eagleville at Forest. Canyon County at Sequatchie. And Stork Vision. Warren County visits Cookville, and then let's not forget Jason Dobbs as he takes on Cornersville. Let's find us a topic. Frustration. Man, I was frustrated last week, kids. I mean, I was livid when I left here. Why? Because that garbage I put on that camera wasn't worth your viewing. You know, I was frustrated, and I was frustrated at me because I spend a lot of time preparing to come out here and talk to you. Now, frustration, you're not mad, you're just annoyed, or and let's talk a little bit about frustration. Could you hear the frustration in Coach McDaniel's voice when he was talking about the Purple Wave against Bob Jones and losing by 1 point? Could you hear the frustration inside the headset? Could you hear the frustration on the field yesterday when I was talking to Kit Hartsfield about how he could not get the communications of the huddle gear to line up? Frustrated because things aren't working. And you know, there's frustration to where you have total control over it, and then there's other things you have zero control over, and you're frustrated and you can't fix it, and it works at you. You think Tom's frustrated about anything? Oh yeah. Tom gets frustrated. Sure he does. What do you do about it? You know, kids, I'll tell you now, this isn't for everybody, but this is just me. If I get frustrated and I put my mind to it, and I mean really put my mind to it, when I come back, good things happen. Because I put a little more focus into it, and a little more drive into it, and I get determined to make it happen. Especially in sales, especially if you monkey with something going on around the video in high school football, because I've been doing it for so long. I put in a lot of time, and so I take a lot of pride into it. Did you know that inside the headset was born out of frustration? Somebody made a smart aleck remark to me and called me a traitor, and I got mad, and I created something, and still to this day, it still runs. So there is some good frustration that's going to come over you. And you know what? You're going to learn from frustration. You will learn and you will grow. through frustration. As bad as you hate it, there is frustration, and frustration is good for you because it forces you to grow. It forces you to make a different decision versus the decision you made last week on the behind the lens, and you come out here and put up some kind of junk on there. You want to watch this. You want something that's going to be, teach you something, and I'm responsible for that. So I was frustrated. You think? I don't want to say it. Cecil rode the bus, y'all, down to Florence, Alabama last week. Pruitt intends to rotate among offensive linemen. Well, let's hit the last one and get out of here. Asher. Our last topic of the day is Asher. How do I start? Has nothing to do with football, but it does have to do with media and content, and about a person who recently passed that was from my hometown, who donated and gave his life to the world of thoroughbred racing. His name is John Asher. He's from Litchfield, Kentucky. Passed away Monday, heart attack, 62 years old. But John was so good. John wrote, he was a journalist, he graduated from WKU. He did a lot of broadcast work, but he was vice president of media communications for Churchill Downs. If you go and look up their stock, you'll see Churchill Downs is not cheap. But John had a way, you all, of a blending in. And I seek to be a lot like John. We all should. And I want to dedicate tonight's broadcast and the lens today to him, because he gave so much to the industry. He wasn't selfish. And there's 20 horses usually in the Kentucky Derby, and John loved the Derby. And I hated he's not going to be here to see 150 because it's in a couple of years. But John would pick a Derby horse and he'd get on it and he'd stay on it from go to woe. I mean, he'd stay right with it. And, the other horse trainers or other jockeys or other people involved, they didn't get mad because John decided upon that. He had a way of blending into the scene, but helping the scene, helping the industry, but you just didn't notice him. I mean, you knew John was there, and you knew his little bit was going into the final product that was coming out, but he did it so well that, he wasn't controversial, kids. He didn't, say, they need to replace that, or, that trainer, he's no good, or she's not a very good rider, or he doesn't know anything about bloodlines and horses. He never said anything negative like that. Now, he would give his opinion, but one of the best public speakers to speak about the industry of thoroughbred racing, and I love it. So our lesson today is, look him up. Look him up. Kids, you won't believe, just type in John Asher on Twitter and do a search. Look at how many people are pouring their heart out to the family. And I tell you how big he is. The visitation is at Churchill Downs, kids. So they're going to come view him at Churchill Downs and pay their last respects. And that's going to be on Tuesday. Well, what about Stork Vision? What's been going on with it? We had a lot going on last week. A little frustration going on, but I wasn't frustrated with my wife. She ended up with a spider bite, you all. And I mean, she bared down and she was frustrated about it. Had to have it lanced, chew it into the hospital. Still made the game to Florence, Alabama, and ran the camera for 3/4. I ran it for 1, just because the pain was so excruciating. With all that being said, we're headed to Cookeville tonight. I've got another cameraman involved, and he is my older brother. So Sam will run the camera tonight for the very first time in 18 years for us. So, if you see me over at Cookeville, give me a shout. God bless. Take care. I'm a man who truly, truly delivers. That's me, the Stork. And this is Tom Krieger down at the Tennessean, Buckethead. Everybody, y'all be careful out there. If you're out there messing around on the lake or whatever you get involved in that's not football involved and you're with your families and stuff, have some sense out there. Watch what you're doing. Wear a life jacket. Think Tom wears a life jacket when he's on the water? Tom Krager, he's down at the Tennessee End, folks. Tom Krager stays down till 5 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and then the article don't come out till Sunday.